Good afternoon, everyone. We're about to get started with some Saturday NBA action brought to you by 2K Sports. A quick check now at the starting lineups for both teams. First for the Thunder. Backcourt is Westbrook and Cephalosha. And in the paint, holding down the pivot, a physical and bruising big man at 6'10", Big Perk, Kendrick Perkins. And it's Durant, and it's Ibaka in at the 4 slot. And for Chicago, D. Rose and Jimmy Butler in the back. And down low, the two-time NCAA champion at Florida, the 6'11" tornado of energy and effort. It's the big man, Joakim Noah. Then it's Dang, and it's Boozer in at power forward.
Boy, I tell you, the Bulls showed how resilient they could be without Derrick Rose last season. They played competitive basketball, but up against the Western Conference, they just didn't quite have the same punch. Got beat up pretty good out west.
And so off the tip, it's Oklahoma City. Now here's Westbrook. He dishes it to Cephalosha. Now Westbrook. 6 on the shot clock. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. And back to the Bulls against the West. Not sure what exactly their shortcomings were, but in the end, Steve, they were only able to win 11 games out of the 30 they played out of conference.
You know, the Bulls were a team that could win games on grit and toughness, but the West was a lot more talented last year than the East. And so some nights Chicago just kind of ran into reality, and they didn't have enough talent to deal with some of those Western teams.
That's good from Westbrook.
I think Westbrook may be the most explosive player in the game right now. I mean, you got Wade, Kobe, Derrick Rose, but I think Russell Westbrook, with his speed and quickness, is probably the guy right now.
And so Westbrook makes them both. And Westbrook, really a freak athlete. Clark, a terrific dunker.
Yeah, he's a guy you would just love to see in the dunk contest, Kevin. But he says he's more of a game dunker and might not shine in the exhibition type format. And I can understand that. The dunks that Russell does in games are so vicious and so posterizing that it's hard to create that same type of tenacity and energy in a contest. So I think there are some guys that are more geared towards dunking in games than winning dunk contests.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Kevin, I had a chance to catch up with Scott Brooks. He communicated to his players that when taking on Chicago, they have to be as physical as possible to match the intensity the Bulls bring. He said they have no problem banging bodies inside, and we shouldn't be afraid to respond. We can't be intimidated by them, and I want us to go right at them. Sounds like we'll have a physical game on our hands, guys.
Thanks, Doris. Here's Butler, following the score by Serge Ibaka. Durant against Dang. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so we will go to the line. A three-point play chance here.
Yeah, Dang is so dependable at both ends of the floor, Kevin. He's about 6'9", long arms, good athleticism, and he just stays after you. He can really guard because he anticipates well, and he understands what the offensive player is trying to do.
That's exactly right, Steve. He's an excellent defender. Nothing flashy. Offensively, he's solid as well. A good jump shooter who can catch and shoot or even dribble into the smooth pull-up.
Now here's Westbrook. Ibaka with the screen on Rose. And Westbrook, here we go.
And that's 2 fouls for him very early in this ball game. He'll probably have to spend some time on the bench before halftime.
Oklahoma City shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the game. And that one falls for Westbrook.
Hey, we all know how hard it was for the Thunder going into last season to trade away their 6-man star, James Harden, but it was something that had to be done. They really missed his playmaking ability, though, and I think they missed him in the locker room, too.
Kirk Heinrich, he's checked in for the Bulls. And both free throws good for Westbrook. Chicago with the ball. Heinrich off a pick from Noah. Heinrich against Westbrook. Noah high post. The feed to Dang. Launches a three, and that one's good. Dang's got 6 points. And for the Thunder, a financial decision to trade away Harden. They've already tied up Steve money and big contracts to Durant and to Westbrook, Ibaka, and Perkins.
And Kevin, I think a lot of people question why they didn't keep Harden and maybe move Ibaka or Perkins. I think Perkins would have been maybe the best option, but he's really looked at as their best post defender and a guy who brings leadership and toughness. So it was a very difficult decision, but there's no doubt this team missed James Harden.
Now here's Westbrook after the miss by Luol Deng. It's Durant on the wing. Oklahoma City moving the ball around. And Westbrook, here we go. And it's wide right. It's off the rim.
Good percentage shot, though. That's one they'll take any day of the week.
Jimmy Butler was the last pick of the first round back in 2011 by the Bulls. And last season, I tell you what, he really solidified his place in the rotation, guys. He's still developing his outside shot, but he brings an awful lot to light to the table.
And for Jimmy Butler, what a story. Abandoned as a child, bounced around from home to home. One coach would take him in, another family would take him in. It was a very tough upbringing down in the Houston area. He overcame tremendous odds. And to be where he is today with the great attitude after a short time at Marquette, it speaks volumes of his character.
Well, it sure shows in his play, doesn't it? I mean, just the way he hustles and draws fouls, rebounds, defends. He can guard multiple positions out there. You just love his overall game and his toughness and what he brings to this team.
Nick Collison's checked in for Kendrick Perkins. Boozer hits them both.
You know, with so many high hopes, the Thunder seem to be everybody's pick to make it to the finals once again. They were so dominant throughout the regular season. Many thought it was a foregone conclusion, but the injury to Russell Westbrook kind of sidetracked all of that.
Now here is Cephalosha looking for his first basket still in this one. Westbrook. Second chance shot. Ibaka, no luck.
Excellent, really solid job actually by the defense to get in his way as he was going up for that one.
Westbrook against Heinrich. On the wing, Dang. Outside Butler. Back to Dang. And he goes in for the dunk. An indication there of why the scoreboard looks like it does. Very passive defense.
But the finish was anything but passive.
No, he hammered that down, Clark. Superb above the rim action.
And back to the Thunder in the postseason. They did well to get by the Rockets after Westbrook injured his knee. But, Steve, they just didn't have the same dynamic punch when they later faced the Grizzlies. Ended up getting bounced out in the second round.
Well, it was a tough matchup for them because the Grizzlies are so good defensively. And when you take Westbrook out of the lineup, all of a sudden it changes everything. I thought Oklahoma City battled, but they just didn't have enough firepower without their point guard.
Catching up on the changes for Oklahoma City. Hashim Thabit comes in for Serge Ibaka. And Jeremy Lamb subbed in for Thabo Cephalosha. A minute 42 left in the first quarter of the game. Heinrich outside. Dang passes to Butler. Heinrich outside. And it's off from three-point range.
Tell you what, it's hard to argue with the record for Coach Tom Thibodeau of the Bulls, but the rumor mill has it that the front office hasn't been happy with how hard he's ridden his top players. Luol Deng missed time last season with the hamstring injury. Joakim Noah came down with plantar fasciitis. Hey, those things happen, and I'm not quite sure you can put that at the feet of Tom Thibodeau.
The Bulls leading by 4. 52 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Butler kicks to Heinrich. Back to Butler. Just 5 on the clock. Heinrich against Durant. And Heinrich gets it to go. Heinrich's got his first points of the game. And going back to Tom Thibodeau and that minutes load on his stars, it seems it's getting harder for players to weather big minutes, Steve, these days.
I think it's going to be really interesting going forward to see this Bulls team this year and beyond. Will that wear them down? Their guys play too many minutes. They've had a lot of injuries. I think it's time to scale back a little bit on the minutes played.
Butler dishes to Heinrich. Pass to Dang. He clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls. And we reach the end of the first quarter. Bulls lead by 8. From the United Center in Chicago, back in a moment. Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And taking a look at Chicago's performance here, Clark and Steve, what have they been doing or not doing?
The defense was really impressive there, guys, in that first quarter. They came out focused right from the beginning.
And, Steve, that's a big part of why they're on top right now.
And here's Heinrich. Butler passes to Gibson. Knocked loose. Stolen by Jackson. And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Guys, Serge Ibaka was drafted as a raw prospect back in 2008. But over time, his jump shot has really developed. Coach Brooks said he's one of the best pop guys in the league at that position. A 17-footer, I would probably take that shot over anybody on our team. Guys, Ibaka said with all the attention that Westbrook and Durant draw, the team needs someone else to step up. He's trying to be that guy for his teammates.
He certainly is. Thanks, Doris.
Well, we know how talented he is. It's just a question of how good can he become if he continues to put the work in.
You know, in one of the more compelling postseason stories, the question about when the Bulls would bring Derrick Rose back just continued to hover around the playoffs. Ultimately, just never happened.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Lamb. Chicago grabs the miss. Heinrich outside. And we're now about a minute and a half into the second quarter. Hangs. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Well, back to the Bulls, and even without Rose, I think the team made a big statement, Steve, with how they played in the postseason. They showed that they weren't just a one-man show with Rose running things and have a solid core and system that will always compete.
Well, it's the second straight year that the Bulls have essentially been without Rose in their playoff run due to injury. And so I think Chicago fans are kind of wondering what exactly the roof is for this team, the ceiling, if you will. Let's hope that Rose stays healthy this year, so we'll find out.
That one is no good.
Hey, people had no idea, guys, how the Bulls were going to do last season dealing with the Rose injury, but they showed very quickly that they're going to be a team in the hunt, and they were still going to be hard to beat at home.
And yes, sir, that one drops.
After going scoreless in the first, he's really found a way to turn it on here in the second quarter.
We're now about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Feeds to Dunley. Lets it go from deep. Good, and Heinrich gets the assist. And the Bulls lead by 8. And back to the Bulls at the United Center that Clark was just mentioning. 24-17 here in this building a year ago. And even though, Steve, they didn't have a lot of high-flying highlights here, they knew how to close out games.
Well, they defend, and that's the main thing. If you want to finish and close out games, you have to be able to defend and rebound And that's what Tom Thibodeau's teams are always all about, and this year is no exception.
Here's Rose. Kevin Durant picking up that last basket. Noah with it. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Heinrich kicks to Gibson. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Usually the logic is that if you want to win the West, you need to get a lot of wins against the East to pad your record, guys. But the Thunders did dominate the East last season, but not as much as the other teams, and they still won the West.
First free throw is good. Well, getting back to the Thunder, as you said, Clark, they took the East to task once again. They were 21-9 against the conference. But, Steve, that was just tied for the 3rd best in the West.
You know, I think a big part of that is that after they made it to the finals for the first time, they played with a target on their back. And I thought every team in the league knew they had to bring their A game to try to kind of make a statement against the Thunder.
And both free throws good from Gibson.
You know, with the recent success of Oklahoma City, you forget that in Kevin Durant's first season, they started out going 3-29. And I tell you what, you talk about their success, it's due to the resilience and perseverance and leadership of Kevin Durant and the rest of those guys.
Rose kicks to Dang. Dishes it to Gibson. Back to Dang. Teardrop shot. And Durant sends it back. He kicks to Land from downtown. Shot is off. Now Chicago takes it the other way. Well, there is a culture of hard work, as Clark was talking about, and the perseverance for this Oklahoma City Thunder organization. Their star players, Steve, get a lot of credit, but it's the whole organization, don't you think?
No question. It's the culture that was set. Scott Brooks has continued to kind of establish that atmosphere in the locker room. And they have players who just want to work and want to get better. And when you have a large group of people all with that same approach, you're going to be very successful.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Well, gentlemen, there has been a lot of pressure on this Bulls team to get to the finals. Derrick Rose thinks that they are set up to win multiple championships. He says, quote, "To me, to win a championship, you need a team full of winners that's willing to sacrifice. We got all the pieces, starting with the front office, our owners, the coaching staff, down to the players." That kind of quote puts more pressure on the team, but they are set to make a deep run, guys.
Defense really their identity. That's how they win. And first time out of the game called for Oklahoma City. Kendrick Perkins, he's checked in for Hashim Thabit. Jackson dishes to Perkins. Jackson passes to Perkins. Outside Jackson. Shot clock at 5. He tries for 3. Gets it to go.
Still trailing, but their offense is off life support here in the second quarter. It's got a pulse.
Yeah, they're making some shots now, Clark, finally starting to make up some ground.
Now here's Rose. Noah with a screen for Rose. Noah throws off the pick and hammers it home.
Well, the pick was set at the perfect angle on the floor, and he used it nicely.
Well, that's a play we may see from them a few more times.
Why not? I mean, when it works, you go back to it. Make them stop you.
Here's Jackson. The 3. And it's Dunleavy with the rebound.
I think the game plan needs to change here, guys, if they're going to get out of the hole, because he is not helping their offense.
Rose kicks to Butler. Back to Rose. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Nice work to get inside and draw the foul.
Yeah, it's obvious. The defense not going to allow many easy layups. They're going to make you earn it from the line.
Bulls have shot 6 or 7 at the line. free throw drops for Dunleavy. And the Thunder making a switch here. And both free throws good for Dunleavy. So here's Westbrook. And there's the pass to Cephalosha. Back to Westbrook. Kicks to Lamb. No good on the triple. Here's Rose. No good. So we've reached the end of the first half of play. Bulls out front. They lead by 8. We're going to step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after our halftime.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Good to have you along, everyone. It's time now for the halftime report. The Bulls have the lead out in Chicago against the Thunder. A dominating performance offensively. They're getting everything they want. Luol Deng making it look easy against Oklahoma City. After 2, he's got 10 points and some nice plays offensively, getting the assists going. And still in this, the Thunder hanging around. They'd like to forget that first half. Coach has not been happy with what he's seen out there, and they'll likely come out with major adjustments. Not the best start for Russell Westbrook. His shot has been AWOL lately. Still on the run in this one. And that'll be it for us here. Thanks so much for joining me. Now it's time to head back to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke. We hope to see you around next time.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And one of the shores of Lake Michigan, the lights of the great city of Chicago, as we return. You look at Luol Deng in this game, he's been everywhere.
Well, in terms of his points in the first half, I mean, that's pretty much what we've come to expect out of him.
Yeah, that's an open book on all you need to know about what talent he has. I'll bet he adds a lot more to that tally in the second half. I think when you look at Derrick Rose, fellas, the most intimidating thing about him is his elite speed. But you also have to consider his size. He's well put together, about 6'3", maybe just a shade over 200 pounds. He is a handful when he's coming at you fast with that strong body and explosiveness.
And Clark, you mentioned the size of Derrick Rose. 6'3", not just a speedster, but the combination of quickness and power. I've always thought that, Steve. He goes in there, and he would be a very tough guy to try to stop when he's got a full head of steam.
Oh, no question.
Oh, wow.
He's coming at you with that burst and the strength. That's why he's so overpowering as a point guard. You look back to that 2008 draft, the then Sonics, now Thunder, took Westbrook at the 4 spot, and a lot of people thought that was a reach, but I'll tell you what, you redo the draft right now, and he has a legitimate case of being the #1 pick.
That's good from Westbrook. Well, Clark, back to that 2008 draft, Westbrook had played kind of a combo guard at UCLA, and there were some questions, I think, among a lot of scouts and personnel guys' minds about his ability to become a full-time point guard.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I think you always have to look at players, not just for what they might become, but what are they when they get to you. And Russell was a guy who was athletic, aggressive, hungry to get better. And when you've got those attributes in his athleticism, you're going to be a difference maker in the league, and he's proven that to be the case.
Now here's Heinrich. Noah with a screen on Westbrook. Heinrich passes to Butler. Back to Heinrich. Fires the 3. And the rebound goes to Perkins. Thunder trailing by 8.
Everybody regards Bulls coach Tom Thibodeau as a defensive mastermind, and the numbers back it up again. The Bulls were near the top in every major defensive category, protected the paint, limited fast breaks, and made sure to challenge any shot that went up.
Now here's Westbrook. He has 6. Noah with the block. And they're able to recover. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. Here in this third quarter, just over a minute play. And the Bulls, Steve, 5th in defensive efficiency last season.
And Thibodeau, knowing him, he's probably unhappy with that ranking. This team is so disciplined and hardworking. They always have a chance to be the best defense in the league.
6 to shoot. Dang against Westbrook. Dang can't get it to go.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
Westbrook against Heinrich. From 11 feet away. Good on the jump shot. 8 points for Russell Westbrook.
You know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play him.
Chicago calls timeout.
Serge Ibaka, born and raised in the Republic of Congo. We've had African-born players in the league for decades, but it seems that as the league has reached out to develop talent there, the numbers are increasing from that part of the world.
Derrick Rose is checked in for the Bulls. Two minutes into the second half of play now. Lets it go. Serge Ibaka pulls it in. Ibaka's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. And going back to Ibaka and growing talent coming from the continent of Africa. Steve, 1 billion people there.
Soccer is still the biggest sport there, but steadily the NBA has made inroads, providing courts and equipment and coaching around the continent. So you would expect more and more players.
Machine for beat, and we got some notable players in the league from there. Rose goes in. Back to Butler. Clock at 6. Outside Rose. And a foul on the shot. They'll go to the stripe for 2. They get Russell Westbrook.
You know, one of the things that's really hard to do in the NBA, it's actually one of the hardest things to do in the NBA, is to stay in front of Derrick Rose. I mean, it's not just his burst of speed or his quick first step, but he's got one of the meanest, nastiest, filthiest crossovers in the entire league. And then you add his strength and explosiveness in the air to that, that's lethal.
And the first one drops. And for Rose, as he returns from his knee injury, you wonder how that'll affect his ability to blow by defenders, which was such a great quality he possessed prior to the injury. Shooting from the outside is solid, but he hasn't been elite to this point in his career with that shot. So there's a lot of unknowns still about his game, and being so young, you expect that.
It's going to be an adjustment, Kevin. I mean, you have to find your confidence after an injury like that. I think he is going to be a better shooter, because if there's one thing he could work on while he was out, it's that outside jump shot. But we got to give him some time to just get his confidence and find his game again.
Now here's Westbrook. 8 points for him. He passes it to Lamb. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. And that's 12 points for Lamb.
Now they're not showing too much respect for him defensively, are they?
Rose kicks to Butler. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter. Back to Rose. He feeds it to Noah. Stolen by Collison. And the Thunder pushing it up now. Lamb with the ball. Butler covering. Collison kicks to Westbrook. Right side Westbrook. Shot clock at 6. Right side Westbrook. Shot's good. Westbrook's got 6 here in this quarter. Here is Rose. Back to Noah. Butler. Pass to Boozer. Ibaka on him. Fades. And Boozer puts it in. Boozer's got 8. Here's Westbrook. 10 points for him. Time called here. The Thunder decide to talk it over. And the Thunder with some changes. Perkins comes in for Serge Ibaka. And Thabo Sefolosha subbed in for Kevin Durant. .141 left in the third quarter of the game. Here's Sefolosha, and that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. Westbrook's got 4 assists in the game. The Bulls leading by 5.
You know, one thing with Scott Brooks, guys, he's very consistent with his message. You listen in on those timeouts, it's all about getting stops. Defense, 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 and letting their offense come from that.
Boozer, no good.
Great job defending the hoop there.
So important to have good presence defensively inside.
Westbrook kicks to Perkins. Back to Westbrook. 5 on the clock. He lobs up.
Up high and down hard. That's right.
That's right. You use it, brother. And now just a 3-point Bulls lead.
The solo alley-oop. That's not something we see too often.
Timed it perfectly. You're right. And caught the defense totally off guard.
I can remember Tracy McGrady doing that. First guy I ever saw pull that off.
Now here's Rose. Launches it. Kendrick Perkins grabs the miss. Perkins got 3 rebounds now in this one. Great offensive performance they're putting on.
You see the benefit of knocking down baskets consecutively because it leads to the confidence growing and growing, doesn't it, Steve?
It sure does, and now it's to the point where they just feel unstoppable.
Here's Sefolosha. Here's Lamb. They grabbed their own miss. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Nice, strong finish. Very nearly a 3-point play opportunity.
Yeah, when you stay aggressive, good things happen.
Oklahoma City shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here.
Well, one of the highlights last season, this team shot the ball extremely well from the stripe. Huge factor.
You know, something you can point to when you're talking about their areas of success last season, free throw shooting.
And the Thunder making a switch here. And good on the second, so he makes them both. 5 seconds left to play in the third. On its way from Rose for 2. Jump shot is good that time. Rose has got 4 points in the quarter. 3 quarters of play in a close game here. Bulls lead by 3. From the United Center in Chicago, back in a moment. We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The 4th quarter of action getting started. And let's take a moment, guys, to get your take on the scoring so far for the Bulls.
Well, anytime they've needed easy points, they've gotten themselves to the foul line. That's been key.
Well, you've also got to love how aggressively they've taken that ball to the basket and scored off dribble penetration.
Now here's Westbrook. Six to shoot. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Rose, and so he's picked up his final foul, and he will sit for the rest of this game. Bulls making a switch here. Boozer's checked in. And that one falls for Westbrook.
They're locked in from the charity stripe this half. Not a miss yet.
And they're going to have to continue that pace, Clark, because they're down, and anytime you're losing, you got to take advantage of every offensive opportunity you have.
And he makes both free throws.
He's having a great game at the free throw line, Kevin. His hot streak continues.
Chicago leading. Heinrich outside. here's the fast break. Sapolosha leading the way. Outside Westbrook. Inside to Perkins. Marvelous lead pass, and he throws it down. And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Thunder.
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
And the other thing they're doing, Clark, is scoring a lot of points off turnovers, forcing mistakes and cashing in.
Here's Butler, following the score by Oklahoma City. The dish to Dang. Passes it to Noah. Shot from the wing. They get the rebound. Cruising. He gets the shot to fall, and the defender wasn't set. He's called for the block and a three-point play chance here. Mike Dunleavy, who's checked in for Kirk Heinrich. The free throw off from Boozer.
You know, Boozer had his name floated around at the trade deadline last season, guys. There were a number of teams that were very interested in having his physicality and scoring ability down low. Boy, he's having a great half here. Exactly the opposite of the first.
Dunleavy gets a screen from Boozer. Last quarter of play, about 2 minutes in now. And the foul called on Russell Westbrook. That'll be his second foul of the game. And you wonder why Boozer's name would be floated in trade rumors. I mean, one of the top rebounding power forwards in the game can score inside and outside.
Well, I think, Kevin, teams are becoming more and more cap conscious with the new collective bargaining agreement. And Boozer is a very highly paid player, so even though he's productive, I think some people are going to look at that contract and maybe shy away from it.
And Thabo Sefolosha, guys, you know he's from Switzerland. Last season enjoyed the best shooting of his career. He set career best in field goal percentage and three-point percentage, 48% and 43% respectively.
Free throw good, Sefolosha. And Clark, you mentioned Sefolosha, known as a wing defender, but it's encouraging, Steve, to see him shooting so well.
Yeah, and he's become more aggressive offensively, too. He really is a three-point shooter, kind of a spot-up guy. But, you know, at times last year, we'd see him go down on the block and post up smaller guards.
And the Bulls making a change here. Heinrich's checked in.
Missed a chance to put them up three. That's going to affect how they set up on defense this trip now.
Rejected by Westbrook. A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth quarter. And that one's good. 6 points for Kevin Durant.
You know what I love about Durant, Kevin, is the fact that he can be cruising along and then all of a sudden he'll just kick it into high gear. You know, he gets his points quietly at times because it comes so effortlessly. But when the game's on the line, he can get hot and just bury you.
Steve, if you were just going to dream up a score, a machine-like, video game-like score, KD, Kevin Durant, is what you would come up with. Long, lean, can shoot it deep, ball skills, and the attitude and aggressiveness of a late-game closer.
And the first one at the line is good.
You know, to me, one reason why Carlos Boozer is such a valuable scorer is that he can hurt you in a multitude of ways inside. He can hit the rainbow jumper of his, and when he's back to the basket, can go over both shoulders very well.
Off on that one, so he goes 1 for 2 at the line. And for Boozer, you remember the story. Growing up in Alaska, his dad tied his right hand to his waist, so he'd have to develop his left, and that was something that he worked on even more when he went to Duke.
Well, yeah, his left hand is fantastic. I mean, that's his preferred hand when he's finishing around the rim. A right-handed jump shooter, but anything around the basket is usually his left. So he probably owes his dad a debt of gratitude for tying him up all the time.
guess that's one way to put it.
I'll tell you what, he's enjoyed a very good day shooting the ball so far. He can bring them right back into this.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Over the last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Scott Brooks said to his team. His advice clear-cut. I want to see you playing to win, not playing not to lose. I don't care what the lead is. We do not back off.
We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. Westbrook kicks to Cephalosha. Back to Westbrook. Clock at 6. Always going up for the alley-oop here. And Kevin Durant with the slam.
Well, that was a max-range alley-oop pass there, guys. It's got to be. I don't know if anybody's throwing one any longer.
Well, that's just crazy.
Man, how high did he have to go to make that catch? What an unbelievable play. Wow.
Chicago calls timeout. They're behind by 6. 1:57 left in the fourth quarter. Outside Butler. He dishes it to Heinrich. Now the feed to Boozer. Just 5 to shoot. Fade away. Not enough on that one as it misses.
That's a battle they haven't been winning today, guys. Their work on the glass has to improve.
And that's not the only thing that's gone against them.
And Durant, here we go. Rebound by the Bulls. Here's Butler. In low to Boozer. Knocks down the 10-footer. Boozer's got 7 now in this quarter.
I wasn't so sure he could get it turned around after that poor first half, but he's got it rolling here a little bit in the second.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. They lead by 4. 1:15 left in the fourth quarter of this one. And so here is Oklahoma City. They've allowed just 7 points here in the fourth quarter. Durant dishes to Westbrook. 1:02 left here in the fourth quarter. Cephalosha. 6 on the shot clock. Oklahoma City moving it around. It's Durant with the drive. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires. And the Thunder lead by 6.
And defensively, they're starting to look for answers because ever since halftime, they've been disjointed out there.
Well, their pass it to Boozer. Heinrich outside. Back to Boozer. Right side, Boozer. The 17-footer. Can't hit. And Oklahoma City will go with it the other way. And now they decide to foul intentionally. And so they choose to intentionally foul. First free throw is good, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And a new group in here for the Thunder. Hashim Thabit, he's checked in for Perkins. Collison comes in for Serge Ibaka. Jeremy Lamb's checked in for Kevin Durant. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Russell Westbrook. So he gets them both, and it's an 8-point game. Chicago calls timeout. They're trailing by 8. 23 seconds left to play here in the fourth. .23 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Heinrich inside the three-point line. And dead on that time. Beautiful shot. And they go to the intentional foul. So the first one drops, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so he drops them both. It's an 8-point game. 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Right through the shoulder that time, all net. And so they foul intentionally. That's the first, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so both free throws are good, and it's an 8-point game. Teague kicks to Heinrich. His three-pointers off the mark. So it's Oklahoma City picking up the win. Both teams played well, but these guys had the end.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp. Very on top of their game here.
Well said. And that'll do it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. And now we present the Jordan Player of the Game, Russell Westbrook.